Jackie, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but when are you going to quit that job of yours? There's just no way you can properly manage full-time work while raising a child. Poor Heather. Is this really how you want her to remember her childhood? You never being around because your job always took priority? If you want what's best for Heather, then you should stay at home full-time. Elaine, it's good to hear from you, but do we really have to discuss this issue yet again? My answer will remain the same, no matter how many times you bring this up. It's just not an option for me to leave my job now, and I have no intention of doing so either. I hope you haven't forgotten the fact that I run my own company. If I leave, there won't be anyone left to run the company. What are you talking about? You can just leave that up to your replacement. I'm sure there are other capable people who can take over as president, but there's only one mother for Heather, and that's you. Are you sure that you really understand that responsibility? And yet you still choose to neglect the housework and childcare just so you can keep working. Nothing is being neglected, just so you know. I do my share of the housework and childcare and make sure that Heather is my #1 priority, always. Except for the time that Heather spends at daycare, I'm always right by her side. That's not what I'm talking about. What if something were to happen to Heather during the day? You might be too busy with work and be unable to get to her when she needs you. Have you ever thought about that? Just imagine how she'd feel. I've definitely considered that kind of situation. And that's why I always keep my phone right next to me, so that I can be reached at any time during the day. I've always been available whenever Heather needs me, so I'm quite certain that she doesn't feel like she's missing out on anything. That's what I'm saying. You're just trying to justify your reasons for not being with Heather all the time. My poor granddaughter. How lonely she must be all the time. Just so you know, I won't acknowledge any woman with a job as my daughter-in-law. In my family, a mother's #1 job is taking care of her family. What does Jason say about all this? Surely he doesn't support the idea of you working so much. Actually, Jason is very encouraging about me working. He knows how hard I've worked to build up my career this far, so he doesn't want me to let it go for the sake of her family. We both share the load in raising Heather and keeping up our house, so we've already discussed how we will always support and help one another in this family. I see. Perhaps I raised Jason to be much too kind of a gentleman. He's very respectful of your wishes, isn't he? But I'm sure that's not how he truly feels. I think that he'd be happier if you would be at home full-time. But what can I say? You were well aware of my wishes to continue working even before Jason and I got married. I thought it was a mutual understanding. And my thoughts about my career haven't changed since then, so leaving my job isn't even an option for me. You're really such a stubborn woman. Jason earns more than enough to support you and Heather. Don't you live comfortably enough already? Of course, I don't just work for financial reasons. My job is also one of my passions. It's something I've always dreamed of doing, and I just can't let it go that easily. But also in this day and age, you never know what could happen. I just feel that it's better not to rely on just a single source of income. Are you saying that you're worried about being dependent on my son? Do you think that he's going to lose his job or something? Absolutely not. I would trust Jason with my life. But this is something we've already discussed and decided on together. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to do as you say. I just thought that once you got married and had children, you'd finally realize that a woman's place should be in the home. But I guess I was wrong. You just don't know when it's time to give up, do you? Like I said before, I refuse to acknowledge you as my daughter-in-law. You're not my family. You don't even have the decency to heed my advice. We might as well be complete strangers. I don't know what to say. Well, there's one thing for sure that I can tell you. We were planning to go out to a fancy Italian restaurant to celebrate Heather's graduation from preschool. But you don't have to join us. We'll keep the celebration to family only. Excuse me, that just seems a bit ridiculous, don't you think? I'm pretty sure that Heather herself wouldn't be happy about that situation. Besides, I don't think it's right that my daughter should be caught up in your drama. Perhaps you can leave your complaints about me behind for just one night when we're out celebrating Heather. That's just you being selfish. You're the one who's not willing to compromise and won't even consider my request. Why don't you try to make the effort to meet me halfway for once? I think I've made more than enough effort to be on good terms with you until now. We visited you every single month since Heather was born, even though it takes us more than 2 hours each way to your house. But that's because we want you to spend time with her as well. And we thought that you enjoyed being able to see your granddaughter as often as possible. Of course I enjoy seeing her. But isn't that just an obvious courtesy you should pay? Or do I have to give you a reward or something for just doing your duty? You're just doing what's expected of you anyways. Is that really how you think of me? What about the monthly allowance that we send you? We do that out of generosity, so you can live comfortably without having to worry about money. You don't get it, do you? I would have gotten my monthly allowance regardless of whether Jason married you or not, so don't think you're doing anyone any favors. But since Jason did end up marrying you, of course you should be sending money to support me now. I'm not sure that's quite how it works. Anyways, I hope you understand what I'm saying now. You are to quit your job immediately. This is no longer just a request, but an order. We still need to discuss this matter in more detail next time. Hey, sorry I didn't get back to you sooner. I just finished work, so I'm on my way home now. Were you able to get dinner ready and eat with Heather already?
Yeah, everything here is fine. Heather helped with the cooking and did a really great job. She said she wanted to do something special for you since you always work so hard. So we made a feast together.
Wow, I can't wait to get home. We're so lucky to have such a kind and understanding daughter. She's such an angel.
She gets it from her mother. When I was struggling with my job and wanted to switch to something part-time, you didn't even hesitate to step up and say that you would support our family financially. You have no idea how much that meant to me. I don't know what I would have done if you had second-guessed my decision.
Of course I would never doubt you. And we promised that we would support each other no matter what happened. But now you're much more involved in caring for Heather and pretty much handle everything around the house. Heather surely seems to enjoy having you around all the time now. And thanks to you, I can spend more time at work now than before without having to worry about Heather all the time.
You have no idea how lucky I feel to have such a confident and hardworking wife. And I think this part-time job is working out for me. I feel like I can stay here for a while. Although it's not much of a salary, I hope that it still contributes to our household income.
There's no need to talk yourself down like that. I told you how grateful I am about having you around the home more often. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And for our family, it worked out better that I work full-time and you stay at home almost full-time. It's a perfect balance for us.
Oh, you're such a saint. I didn't know what I would have done if I didn't have your support. Thank you for everything.
Don't be silly. You're just as supportive of me, and I'm also grateful for all your hard work.
By the way, my mom called earlier. Did she tell you not to come to Heather's graduation celebration?
She sure did. But if I really don't attend, I'd just be playing right into her hands. I'm not going to give her that satisfaction. I plan on showing up regardless of what she says.
Yeah, you're right. I had a feeling that's what you would say. As a matter of fact, I decided to finally settle this conflict with my mom, once and for all.
What do you mean?
I know that you haven't told my mom that I quit my job and only work part-time now. And don't get me wrong, I really appreciate that consideration. But I feel like that's why she's getting so carried away, because she's unaware of the actual situation. It's starting to get pretty ridiculous how she's always trying to force you to quit your job.
Well, I guess if she knew our current situation, she'd realize that leaving my job isn't even an option. And I'm sure she wouldn't keep threatening me to quit working if she knew how crucial my income was in supporting our family, right? But I just didn't find the need to tell her all this. Especially knowing what a toxic parent she is, she would have just forced you to keep working, even against your will. And she would have just kept meddling in our family's business, because she always wants to control the situation her way.
Exactly, and that's why we decided not to tell her about my current working situation. But she's always been much too involved in our business and imposing her unwelcome advice on us. So I told her quite firmly that she needs to stay out of our business from now on. That the way we run our household will be up to you and me.
Really? You said all that? It's unusual for you to be so firm with your mother.
I know, and since she raised me single-handedly, I've always had a hard time fighting back when she had such strong opinions. I didn't want her to think that I was ungrateful or anything, because I'm sure that she had to sacrifice so much. But you actually made me realize that she was a problem, that it wasn't normal to be so controlling.
I'm glad that you can see that now, and better late than never, right?
Yeah, but because I was afraid to confront her all this time, she thought that she just kept hurling all these insults at you. But I don't want to stand back and do nothing about it anymore. She caused you more than enough trouble already. The next time she acts inappropriately and disrespects our family in any way, we'll just make a clean break from her.
Are you sure that's what you really want?
Of course. You and Heather are my biggest priorities right now. And I'm willing to take any means to stand up against anything or anyone that would even think to make either of you the least bit unhappy. And to make things even worse, it seems like my mother has been telling lies about us to Heather.
What do you mean? That's just unbelievable. I'll be home soon, so I hope you'll tell me everything. I thought that I made myself clear when I told you not to show up for Heather's celebration. What part of "don't come" did you not understand? Because it seems like you're still heading to the restaurant after all. You should be ashamed for being so impudent to think that you can impose on a family gathering like that. But I told you that I was going to attend, regardless of whether you wanted me there or not. Fair enough, do as you please. But I'm telling you right now that you're only going to end up making a big fool of yourself. We're having a big family celebration for my granddaughter. I told you I don't consider you as part of my family, so you can help yourself to just the bread bowl or something if you insist on burdening us with your presence. Fine, I understand. So that means we'll no longer be sending you money every month, since that's a family obligation. What do you mean by that? I mean exactly what I said, but let me make it clear for you so that there's no misunderstanding. As you said, we're not family, so you won't be receiving any money from us anymore. I don't want my hard-earned money being wasted on such an ungrateful person anymore. What did you say? Don't you even know that it should be your duty to financially support me as my son's wife? You can't just stop sending money because of some difference of opinion. I'm sure my son would never allow that. What does he say about all this? In fact, Jason is talking about cutting all ties with you. He said that he can no longer bear the terrible way you've been treating me. He's run out of patience with you and doesn't want to be at your beck and call all the time anymore. That's impossible. I sacrificed so much to raise him single-handedly. He would never say such a thing. I didn't raise him to be that ungrateful. Of course not. And that's why Jason has always been so thoughtful of you and wanting to ensure that you live comfortably. Even if he didn't agree with some of your ways, he always kept those opinions to himself. But now he has his own family that he needs to protect and provide for. And since you keep trying to interfere with our family, he's finally decided to cut all ties with you. That can't be true. I'll never allow that to happen. It's not up to you to decide, so it doesn't matter what you think. We won't be sending you any money from now on since we're not family, as you said. And we'll no longer be involved with one another either, which obviously means that our monthly visits are over as well. You can't do that. Just think about how upset Heather will be if she's no longer able to see me. It's wrong for you to keep my granddaughter away like that. Actually, Heather says that she doesn't like you all that much, as a matter of fact. She said what? Why would she say such a thing? Isn't it true that you've been telling her lies about me this whole time? Just like how you used to badmouth your husband in front of Jason when he was a child? What kind of child would be happy hearing lies about their own parent? Those aren't lies. I was just giving her my opinion. Are you saying that it's wrong to tell Heather what I think? If it makes her uncomfortable to hear those things, then yes, it's wrong. And she's made it quite clear to us that the only reason she enjoys going to your house is because of your dog. She wants to play with your dog, so she has no choice but to spend time with you as well. But that won't be a problem anymore, since we just decided to adopt a dog. What? How are you planning on taking care of a dog? You and Jason are hardly at home because you both work such long hours. Actually, Jason left his job a while ago and works part-time now. He has a much more flexible schedule than before, so he's able to accommodate being at home. What? Jason only works part-time. How is that possible? We didn't say anything to you about it because we knew that you would try to control his decisions. Jason had a hard time working full-time at his previous job, so I encouraged him to look for something part-time. He uses the extra time now to watch Heather and take care of the house, and it makes Heather feel like she's on top of the world to have her father's undivided attention like that. You're just kidding, right? It just doesn't make sense. Is he even earning enough just working part-time? Well, he earns less than half of what he used to. But thanks to him being able to spend more time at home, I've been able to work longer hours. So our total household income has gone up, as a matter of fact. It doesn't always have to be the man's responsibility to financially support the family. I can't believe that my son, the man of the house, is actually dependent on his wife. I didn't raise him to think that it was acceptable for a woman to be the breadwinner. You never gave him any room to think for himself. And that's why he felt so pressured to obey you, which probably caused a huge burden on his mental wellness. But we were able to resolve that problem, no thanks to you, and things have been going quite well so far. So from now on, anything concerning our family will be dealt with by ourselves, which I'm sure will work out for the best in the end. But reducing the monthly payments to me for that reason is just unfair. Who said anything about reducing the payments? I'm pretty sure that I was clear that we will be stopping the payments. And in case you didn't understand the first time, we're cutting all ties with you immediately. But why? It's your duty to care for me and make sure that I'm able to live comfortably. Huh? But you said so many times that you don't consider me as a part of your family because I have a job. That means we have no obligations to one another. Of course, that includes financial obligations. Oh, and we won't be attending the dinner to celebrate tonight. So you can enjoy your fancy Italian feast all by yourself. What? Wait just a minute. Fine, I get your point now. Let's talk this over like mature adults. I'm sure we'll be able to come to a mutual understanding. Oh, it's too bad, but I have absolutely no intention of coming to any understanding with you. I have already tried to discuss this matter with you so many times, but you just continue to insult and criticize me. So now I'm quite fed up with your terrible treatment. A bully like you deserves to be abandoned by everyone and should live a sad and lonely life all alone. After that, Elaine rushed to my house all flustered, only to find herself in front of an empty home. My family were all on our way to celebrate Heather's graduation at a different restaurant instead. Fortunately, that means I didn't have to deal with her in person ever again. After that, we moved away without saying anything to her about where we were headed. Elaine had no choice but to increase her work hours so that she was able to support herself. Since she had no idea where we were anymore, she no longer had anyone to rely on, or to impose her biased opinions on. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to see more content.
Hey sis! Long time no talk. How long has it been? Oh wow, 5 years, huh? Why are you texting me, Monica? Do you need something? Well, I'm getting married! Oh, huh. Congrats, I guess. Bye. Hey, wait a sec! Don't you have something more to say than congrats? Your little sister is getting married! Not really. We never have had that good of a relationship, Monica. I mean, I'm happy for you, I guess. But I'm not sure what you're expecting from me. We haven't spoken in 5 years. I bet you're just jealous of me because I'm getting married and you aren't. Jealousy is not a good look on you, sis. What makes you think I'm jealous? You're the one bothering me about this. I don't really have anything much to say, if I'm being honest. If you're gonna treat your own flesh and blood like this, then clearly you've got a problem with me getting married. Did you just text me to accuse me of being jealous about a wedding I knew nothing about before this? No, I do actually have an important thing to tell you. Do you know who I'm marrying? I don't really care. At least pretend to be interested in this, Kelly. Why should I? I genuinely don't care. And me not caring doesn't change anything about this. Well, when you know who it is, you will care. You'll definitely regret finding out from someone other than me. Why would who your husband is going to be matter to me at all? If anything, I'd rather know less about your life than I already do. Living with you was so incredibly disruptive to just about everything that I don't think I have any real desire to involve myself in your life. Oh my God! Quit being so dramatic, Kelly! I'm not being dramatic. I'm just telling it how it is. Ugh! You're always so impossible! If you're gonna be weird about it, I don't want to do this. Fine, whatever. I'll just tell you if you're not going to guess. The person I'm marrying is your fiancé. What? What fiancé? Isn't it a big surprise? I wish I could be there in person to see the look on your face. What are you talking about? It's not that hard. Your boyfriend got sick of you and started dating me instead. Probably because I'm way cuter and prettier and more fun than you. I do feel kind of bad for you, but since you don't care about me in my life, I guess it doesn't matter. I have literally no idea what you're talking about. I don't know anyone who knows you. I'm not sure how any of this could even be remotely possible. Are you really gonna sit there and pretend you don't have a boyfriend just so you don't have to admit I won? Lame! I'm not pretending. I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't know anyone who has even met you who isn't a family member. Whatever. You can keep acting like you don't if it makes you feel better. Or, well, I guess you don't have to act like you don't since he's mine now. But still, it's not cute just to play dumb just because you don't want to admit you're a failure. It just makes you look stupid, if anything. Okay. Whatever. I have so many other things I could be doing than listening to this, so I'm gonna silence my phone now. Bye. Whoa, wait! At least talk to me for a little while longer. I want to tell you all about my awesome fiancé. Or, well, maybe you already know everything since he was yours first. Kelly? Hello? What's the deal, Kelly? Are you really not going to come to my wedding? At least give me your address so I can send you a real invitation. You could at least have the decency to RSVP like a normal person. I mean, you could just ask Mom or something. I did ask her, and she didn't give it to me. She said not to bother you. I mean, it's too late now. Why do you need to send me an invitation in the mail anyway? Why does it matter? Because you're supposed to RSVP. Why can't I just tell you I'm not going? Isn't that the same thing? It saves both of us the time and effort of putting something in the mail. Not to mention the postage. That's just how you're supposed to do it. I send you an invitation. You check the little box. You put it back in the mail. I get it and I note down your response. You don't just get to reply to my email saying I'm not going. It's rude. Wow, okay. You're the one lecturing me on being rude? That's rich. You should write for sitcoms. Ugh, would you stop with all the quipping? Send me an invitation if it really matters to you. I'll do your little box-checking ritual, but it's not going to change my answer. Ugh, fine. Whatever. Can you at least tell me why you're not going? I thought about it. I mean, most people go to the weddings of their relatives, even if they don't like them that much. It is a free meal and drinks for the cost of a crappy present from Target or whatever. But the more I thought about it, the less I wanted to deal with you and your antics. And anyway, I'm busy that day. What could be so important that you have to miss my wedding? I have a life. Is it really that important that you can't come? Can't you cancel or reschedule? It's more important than your wedding. There's no way it can be that important. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. Can't you just be considerate of me for once? I told you, I can't make it. I have to be somewhere that day, and it's not something I can easily reschedule. Not that I would want to, and especially not to see whatever farce of a wedding you're planning. Oh, whatever. I bet you're just still mad because I stole your fiancé. You must have realized who I was talking about when you saw his name on the Evite. You mean Wayne? I mean, yeah, I know someone named Wayne. Of course you know him! It must have been quite a shock to see it in writing. Makes it all the more real, I'm sure. It wasn't really any kind of shock. Why would I be shocked you were marrying someone I don't know? I'm pretty sure you have him confused with someone else. Uh-huh, sure. I think you're the one confused here. You're just trying to deflect from the fact that me marrying Wayne means that you've lost and you don't want to see me win. No. Like I said before, I don't have a fiancé named Wayne. And this Wayne guy you're marrying isn't anyone I've ever had a relationship with. So you're not ever stealing my boyfriend or whatever. Well, yeah, of course not. Because I already stole him from you. If I never had any boyfriend or fiancé to begin with, how can you steal him from me? Isn't it obvious? Do you really need me to explain it to you? I'm marrying Wayne, and I'll get to be his wife and have all his money, and you won't. Yeah, I get that. And all the time you spent trying to do the same is going to waste. Because I'm locking him down when you couldn't. Yes, Monica. I understand the concept of stealing someone's boyfriend. I'm not as stupid as you think I am. I am still pretty sure this isn't the same Wayne I'm thinking of. So there is a Wayne. I mean, I know a guy named Wayne, yeah. But this doesn't sound like the Wayne I know. And I'm not dating any Waynes. And I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, have never been engaged to anyone named Wayne. Clearly, you're just in denial. You just don't want to believe me, so you're making all this up. It's pathetic, really. Though also kind of funny. If thinking that makes you feel better about doing whatever you're doing, that's fine. Keep on thinking that. But I'm not in denial about anything. In fact, none of this really makes sense to me. I don't really know anyone rich, let alone anyone I was going to marry. I'm not sure why you'd think I would care about you marrying someone for their money and me not being able to. Especially when it's some rando I hardly know. Money is nice, but I don't really care that much about it. Nor do I care about you marrying someone rich. You're just saying that. You clearly do care and you're just lying about it. I really don't know what any of this is about. But what I do know is that I've never had a fiancé named Wayne, let alone a rich one. The lies aren't helping your case, sis. Just get this over with and admit you're jealous or something so we can move on. The more you lie about it, the more you just dig your grave. I don't know how I can stop lying about something I'm not lying about in the first place. If you don't believe me, that's your problem. And frankly, I don't know why you should care in the first place. If you really want to marry this guy, why does it matter that he's my ex that you stole from me? And it doesn't change the fact that I'm not going. If anything, it makes me want to go even less. Why are you always so difficult? You're such a sore loser. You always have been, even when we were little girls. You'd cry and cry because I beat you every time we played a board game. I'd cry because you cheat and mess everything up whenever I was winning. That's why I stopped playing with you. I wasn't a sore loser. I was just sick of dealing with you. No, you just didn't want to lose. And now that I've won fair and square, you just don't want to admit it. At least come so I can have the pleasure of seeing you cry when I marry your fiancé. What makes you think that will make me come? You're so crazy. I don't know why I even bother with this. And anyway, even if I did want to actually come in some parallel universe where everything was backwards and upside down, I have something important I have to do that day. Can you really not make time to go to your baby sister's wedding? No. Why? Are you going to be on the other side of the world? Yeah, pretty close to it at least. Here you go, lying again. You're clearly just jealous that I stole your rich fiancé. I guess you won't ever actually admit it. But whatever. You don't have to come if you're gonna act like this. It's a little sad, really. I don't need you stinking up my wedding with you pouting anyway. Whatever you say, Monica. Even if I could go, I don't really feel like giving you the satisfaction by showing up anyway. Whatever. Hey, Kelly. Today's the big day. How does it feel to be the biggest loser? Are we really starting with this again? Will you just leave me alone? I don't know your fiancé. I don't care that you're getting married. You're just annoying me for no reason at this point. Don't you have wedding preparation to do? Like hair and makeup and your dress and all that? I can't believe you're still pretending to not care. It's pretty pathetic at this point. I'm not pretending to do anything. Anyway, even if you don't have things to do, I do. And I'm going to get back to them. If you really want to keep gloating about marrying someone I don't know, we can talk about it later. Come on, Kelly! Stop being so annoying! Don't you at least want to know how things are going? I'm gonna be live tweeting the whole thing. Oh, but I bet you don't have an account. I do not. You really are lame. I'll just copy all my tweets and send them to you so you can see. Don't waste your time. I'm going to be too busy with the important thing I already told you I'm doing to check my phone anyway. I'll just get the video from Mom. Why don't you spend time focusing on the wedding you care so much about instead of bothering me with it? I'm planning on it! But I want my sister to be included even if she's too busy to actually come to her own baby sister's wedding. It sounds more like you just want to torment me. Which won't work since, again, I do not care. Anyway, why are you wasting your time talking to me? You should be paying attention to what makes you happy instead of trying to drag me into it. But this wedding will make me happy. Wayne is so rich that he can buy me anything I want. And I'll be living the good life in his high-rise condo and luxury cars. I'm already happier than I could have ever imagined. The only thing that would make me happier is if you would stop acting like an idiot and just fess up. That's not going to happen because I have nothing to fess up to. Anyway, my fiancé is calling me. I have to go. Your fiancé? Yes, my fiancé. I'm going to be late for my flight. Where are you going? I'm going to Hawaii for my wedding. Wait, Hawaii? You're getting married? Kelly, pick up! Tell me what you said to Wayne right now! Wayne? I haven't talked to him. I'm not even sure if I've even met the guy. I told you before, I don't think you're even marrying the Wayne that I know. What happened? When I got up to the altar, Wayne immediately said he couldn't marry me and ran out of the church. Is he with you? I'm not sure how he could be, unless he somehow managed to magically teleport to Hawaii. Is this all some sort of trick? Are you trying to trick me? No. Once again, I have no idea what you're talking about. Aren't you going to a wedding? Are you going to marry Wayne? Are you taking him back? What? No. Calm down. I'm not stealing your fiancé. Or, I guess, ex-fiancé. My fiancé and I are getting married in Hawaii. His name is Antonio. He's from Peru. So unless Wayne is also secretly a Peruvian man named Antonio who somehow has a secret teleporter that can get him to Hawaii in an instant, I'm pretty sure he's a different person. What? When did all this happen? I met Antonio through work about 1.5 years ago. He transferred in from our San Antonio office. We've been dating for at least a year, and he proposed to me a few months ago. Wait, so why did I think Wayne was your fiancé? I have no idea. I told you I've never dated a Wayne. There was a guy I used to hang out with sometimes, but that was like 2 years ago before I met Antonio. He might be the same guy you're marrying, but he doesn't sound a lot like the guy I knew. Or maybe he was. Who knows? We haven't really stayed in touch. Why? The moment he figured out that I was making more money than him, he literally asked me out on the spot. I told him he was crazy, and he got upset, and we never really hung out again after that. But if he really is who you were gonna marry, that's pretty wild. I'm not sure how you even figured out I knew him. It's not like we were friends for that long or anything. I guess he does live near you, so you could have met him somehow. Oh, I met him at that bar you and your friends used to hang out at, and he mentioned someone named Kelly. And it sounded like you, so I jumped on him. He was hot and he sounded like he had a lot of money. And if I could also get back at you by marrying him, it would have been a win-win. Is that really all you cared about? I mean, I guess I sorta like him. Sorta like him is a pretty bad basis for a loving marriage. How long have you been dating? A little while. Like, what, a year? Like 3 months. Monica, how did you get him to marry you? I mean, it wasn't that hard. I just told him that I was pregnant and he proposed right away. Oh my God, you didn't. You really are unbelievable, Monica. Look, once we get married, I'm sure I would have gotten pregnant pretty much immediately. It wouldn't have been a lie for long. But I think some of his family figured out that I was lying. That must be why he ran. I just wanted to make this happen. But yeah, you're probably right. You have totally lost it. Did you really do this just to try to get some kind of petty revenge on me? I mean, no! He's rich! The revenge was just a bonus. You are so shallow. It's truly amazing. So now that he's figured you out, what are you gonna do? Obviously a wedding is off the table. I don't know. Everyone's left and we're not going to be able to have the reception. And now Mom and Dad are super mad at me too. They yelled at me for like an hour. I mean, did you expect them not to? You lied about being pregnant to trick someone into marrying you. I'd be mad if my daughter did that. They said they weren't going to help me pay for any of the expenses for the wedding anymore. Well, I can't say that I'm surprised about that. This is all your fault after all. But it's probably better that you didn't marry him after all. Why? If he really is the Wayne that I knew, he's definitely not rich. How do you know? He could have made a bunch of money since you broke up. I guess. But he didn't seem that motivated when I knew him. And he was working some dead-end job making like half what I was. And I do okay, but I'm not that well off. But he has all those nice clothes. Yeah, because his girlfriends buy them for him. And he steals all the rest. What? No way! They have to be his! Nah, he's a total mooch. And a thief, too. Why would he steal clothes? I heard he makes tons. Who did you hear that from? I met one of your old friends from high school at that same bar I met Wayne at. We got to talking, and he told me about him and his job. Was it Natasha? Yeah, I think that was her name. Tall blonde girl? Yeah, that's her. I don't really know her that well, but she does know some of my friends from school, so I guess she might have heard something about me. Oh, you know what? I bet she was actually talking about Antonio. How would she know about him? I met some of my old high school friends last time I came home to visit Mom and Dad and told them about Antonio. Antonio is a big-time researcher in my company's R&D department, so they pay him pretty well. So Natasha or whoever was probably telling you about that and you got some wires crossed and thought she was talking about Wayne for some reason. Oh my god. Well, it's not exactly out of character for you. You get something in your head and it's almost impossible to talk you out of it. Did you really not think to check him out a bit before you tried to trick him into marrying you, though? I mean, I thought I knew. You probably should take the time to actually figure out who you're marrying before you do it. But either way, I can tell you that Wayne barely had a cent to his name when I knew him. I would be shocked if he was any better off now. Oh no, that's not good. What's not good? They haven't paid for basically anything for the wedding. I thought he was going to be able to. So I just made the reservations and gave him all the bills. How did you manage that? I don't know. Wayne said he'd take care of it. But I guess he didn't. What am I going to do? I can't have the wedding or afford to cancel it. And I'm going to have to tell everyone I'm not pregnant. That really sucks. I don't have the money to cover all this. It's thousands of dollars. What should I do? I don't know. I can't help you. I'm dying here, Kelly. Do something at least. If you're dying, maybe they can make it into a funeral instead. Don't joke around, Kelly. I don't know what you expect me to do. I don't have any advice for you. I'm definitely not giving you any money. And I'm currently like 1,000 miles away. Come back and help me. Someone needs to pay for all this and I can't do it. I'm not paying for your flop of a wedding. Kelly! Wait. Please help me. I'm begging you. Bye. Kelly! I don't have the money and I can't get a loan. I quit my job and my credit is horrible. I'm gonna be on the street. Kelly! As you might expect, Wayne and Monica did not get married that day. Wayne, unable to commit to a child that didn't exist and unwilling to pay for the wedding, fled the scene and blocked her on everything, not taking a call. He disappeared, never to be heard from again, at least by Monica. It wasn't long before Monica had collection agencies chasing after her, and desperate to get out of debt, went to our parents for a loan. Begrudgingly, they bailed her out, but she was forced to work in Dad's lawn care business to pay back the massive amount of money they had to pay on her behalf. The reveal of her fake pregnancy also put quite a bit of strain on their relationship, and while she is living at home so she doesn't waste any money she could be using to pay them back on rent, our parents barely even talk to her anymore. I, on the other hand, have begun my new life with Antonio after my dream wedding in Oahu. We're blissfully married, living life far away from Monica and all her drama. And unlike Monica, we are expecting a real, actual baby. Meanwhile, Monica keeps slaving away cutting lawns and trimming trees, dreaming of the day when she can finally find a man rich enough to rescue her from her grubby life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to see more. Hey! What the heck do you think you're doing here, Minnie?